therapist in Canada, and I've been doing that full time for about 3 years now. So I've attended two seminars with Marjorie. The first was a group session that I traveled to Iowa for, and I did that. That was the foundational S.T.R.A.I.T method kind of introductory class. And I did that because my partner actually had attended and just gave me an amazing overview. And I have always been interested in scar tissue and was really impressed by how, really nerdy she is about scars and like really, really interested and really keeping up with the research and digging deeply into what's happening with the tissue. And I just wanted to get in on that. And her passion for her work was really exciting to me. And that was who I wanted to learn from. The second class I did with Marjorie was an in-person small intensive. So just me and my partner, 2-on-1, went over to her place in Long Island, and we did a customized blend of some of her therapeutic stretching classes that was specific to the kinds of work that we were doing. So she was really able to tailor that class to what was going to be most relevant for us. The first seminar, the bigger group one that I went to, was a little bit summer camp like, partly in that I was traveling for it, but also just to get to connect with a bunch of different massage therapists and body workers and people that were really interested in the body and excited about expanding their horizons in their work and improving their care for their clients all in one place, and getting to really sink into concentrated time was amazing. And Marjorie does an amazing job of covering many different kinds of learning styles. So I really felt like, as a skilled facilitator, she was being very thoughtful about her pacing. She would repeat things, but not in the same way. She would come back and circle through to things in a way that made sense. And my brain loved. I felt like she held my attention the whole time, which is very hard for me and unusual for a seminar, especially for a day-long intensive session with that. Like, that was so much information. So that was fantastic. It felt like a vacation for me to get to sink into learning in a way that was so satisfying. The second one that I did, the in-person intensive with one other person, was it was just incredible how thoughtful she was. She really listened to us and what we were asking for and the kind of work we were doing, and gave examples that were going to be relevant, and instructed us in how to give examples and how to give cues that were going to be relevant to our specific clients. And just felt very holistic, not only in the way that she was going about her work, which is obviously foundational in her practice, but also the way she was teaching it and the way that she was welcoming us into her space to learn from her. So I would say the benefits of coming to a smaller seminar is that I know where the information is coming from, and excuse me, I know where the information is coming from and the motivation behind it. So I'm not trying to figure out what is this person working around that's coming from this top-down corporate model that they have to teach in this particular way, or they're teaching this other person's work. I really know that it's coming from Marjorie and her specific background and experience and her passion and knowledge and her work with her clients. So that was really reassuring to me, to be like, this is a person. This is a person whose work I trust, who's telling me about her life and her experience and her practice. And I want that direct connection. And the benefit of the smaller seminar that I did, the private session, was just, it was completely tailored to exactly what we needed and wanted. And even as we went along, we could adjust, like, oh, we'd like actually a little bit more of this tomorrow, or can we focus in on this on the afternoon? So we were able to see what was being offered and then even tailor as we were going along. And that was incredible. I'd never done anything like that before. I'd never invested in that kind of private training, and I am absolutely so glad that I did with Marjorie. It was super worth it, and I would absolutely do it again. Really, it comes down to Marjorie's passion for her work and the way that comes through in her teaching. It was just, it felt impossible not to get excited about the content she was sharing. And to see how effective her work has been with her clients and the stories she shares and the experience she's had. It's so different than someone who's not practicing and is teaching theory and research, like that she is ongoing, always working with clients and honing her practice was really um, encouraging to me and really made me want to learn from her because I believe her that her work is continuing to evolve as she learns, even after decades of doing this work with her clients. So I do feel like my work with Marjorie has changed my approach with my clients. When I came to study with her, I had started to feel like Swedish massage is amazing and expansive, and there's so many things we can incorporate into it. And I also was starting to feel like I was treating the symptoms a lot. And that was part of what interested me in Marjorie's work was that she really wants to facilitate lasting change and to encourage her client sense of their own sovereignty and agency in how they can incorporate practices into their lives to have lasting change. And that was really what I wanted. I don't want to be treating the symptoms for clients that are coming for specific rehab or recovery purposes. So I'm starting to be able to incorporate those pieces in more. Like, not only is this what we can do in the session, and I can give you these home care pieces, but I can actually have a lot more information about what I think is going to be useful to each client based on their body and how they're moving and what we're finding together in sessions. And not only the practices and stretches that I can offer them, but also the framing of explaining why something is important and why I believe it would be relevant for their body specifically, and how to offer cues and instructions that are going to land for that person's learning style and that person's life and schedule. It just feels like I have much more of an opening into work that can create lasting change outside of the work we're doing together on the table in our 1 hour or 90 minutes together. So, one thing I learned from working with Marjorie is that I want to invest in tailored trainings that I can do 5 big group generalized trainings and get bits and pieces that are going to be useful to me, or I can invest in paying more and traveling for something that is going to really give me exactly what I'm looking for. And getting that one-on-one or two-on-one small group mentorship is just incomparable. Now that I've experienced it, I know, and we'll continue to seek that out from Marjorie and from other instructors. So, some of the ways that my training with Marjorie has shaped my practice is that I've really moved towards a more holistic approach and also feeling like I have the knowledge and ability to do that. It's still a transition that I'm making in my work because, we're trained in massage in kind of a particular way. There's a script, there's a format of what a session looks like that is quite different than how Marjorie works with her clients. So I'm still at the beginning of figuring out which pieces I want to incorporate where and how much I want to maintain of how I was working before and how much I want to move towards integrating more of the S.T.R.A.I.T method into my practice. But it has invited me into this different way of thinking about what a session can be with a client. And that feels like I have this endless possibility for creativity. And that allows me to approach my work with a lot more curiosity and excitement rather than feeling like this is how my sessions go and this is how they will go for the rest of my career as a body worker was starting to feel pretty discouraging and frankly boring. So to have this other avenue of like, oh, wait, actually, we have a lot of range within our scope of practice and a lot of ways we can work with clients to figure out what is going to work best for them and their body and what they need. So just that invitation to think about body work in a more expansive way has been my biggest kind of root takeaway in addition to the specifics of the techniques and the trainings that Marjorie's offering. So some of the ways that I've implemented this, some are within my practice. So I've done some stretching on the table with clients and then showing them again stretches afterwards and feeling that understanding settle into their bodies more. Like once people really feel it and understand the methodology and then can show me, it's like another layer rather than just showing someone and have them mirror back to me, which is what I usually do with home care. So just implementing that difference in like, let me explain to you why we're doing this, assist you, and then explain how you can do this on your own, and then have you show me, has really helped that aspect be stronger in my practice. And I've also been taking the work into small workshops and group training. So just showing people stretches they can use on their own. Especially I work with a lot of trans clients who are either prepping for surgeries or recovering or just navigating the the embodied challenges of moving through the world in a non-cisgendered way and wanting to really embody different shapes and more openness and expansiveness. So the group classes allow more access for people to be able to learn those things that maybe wouldn't feel comfortable coming in for a one-on-one touch session, or wouldn't feel like financially that was going to work for them in an ongoing way. So having these different ways of sharing the information has been really exciting. I would absolutely recommend Marjorie's work to anyone who works with bodies, really, in any kind of therapeutic way, or anyone that wants to work with their own body in a therapeutic way. Like, I just think this information is so incredible, and it's in beautiful parallel to the healthcare systems we have, but it's bringing a lot of pieces that just are not going to be present in, I mean, Canada, in our public healthcare system, certainly. And I think that anyone anywhere in the team of holistic body care can take pieces of Marjorie's work and find them to be relevant to their clients. So I would recommend this training to anyone. One thing I would say, One thing I would say for someone who's considering but not sure about attending a course with Marjorie is to really look through her content. She's extremely generous and prolific with what she offers online in her YouTube channel, and she gives so much away for free. And so in that way, I'm like, this person has nothing to prove. There's no gatekeeping. So you have all this information. Like imagine what you're going to have access to in person from this person who really just wants to share what she knows and has these decades of experience. To have that one-on-one FaceTime connection to be able to ask questions live is just like, she's such an incredible thesaurus library wealth of knowledge that to have access to that is just can't be replaced. If you've looked into Marjorie's work, you can probably see that she's a little bit out of the box. She's doing things in a different way. She's not presenting things in this kind of clinical, respectability way. And I could see that being something that might throw some people off that are used to continuing education classes with a particular framework, with a particular kind of script and way of presenting the information. And I would just encourage people to not let that phase them. I think for a lot of people, that is a draw in itself. Like, oh, thank goodness, this person is just bringing themselves and talking how they want to talk and sharing the information they have the way they want to do that. And that's amazing. And for other people who are maybe like, what's going on here? I would just really encourage, like, just show up and give it a try. Like, just trust that she is bringing the information in the way that she wants to, because she knows that it works and she doesn't need to package it in a particular way to convince anyone of that. It just speaks for itself, and to really trust that.